Hi, I'm Stavros. Good morning and welcome. And in today's video, we will be chatting all about DAF. So I'm going to hop inside the cab and have a chat with their regional sales manager in DAF Trucks Ireland in Dublin, John McCann. Let's get inside and see what's going on with DAF in 2020. And joining me on the line, as I said, is John McCann, their regional sales manager for DAF Trucks Ireland. So John, can you just fill in the viewer how you have been all coping with COVID-19? How has it affected your business in these challenging times we find ourselves in?
Very challenging times. Stavros, firstly, thank you very much for having me.
No problem, John.
It's a lovely XF you're sitting in.
Yes, it's 2 years old now in the fleet. The driver likes it a lot. It's a nice, comfortable truck and very quiet a tick over. So it'll be a while before we're changing it, John. If that's a hint.
I'll give you a call.
Okay. So, John, how are you all getting on in DAF Trucks Ireland? How is business going?
Yeah, I suppose from the outset, Stavros, it became clear that the safest way to protect our customers and staff was prevention.
Yeah.
And we set about trying to reduce the physical interactions we have with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So we've taken a number of steps with that in mind. We have staff working from home. We have an enhanced parts delivery service. So again, that reduces the need for customers to come on site. Customers that are getting their trucks serviced, we have asked them just to drop the vehicles off as opposed to wait on site. In regards to keeping communication with customers, I think we are fortunate to live in an era where we have phone, email, meeting platforms like Zoom and Team. So we've been able to keep our communication with our customers very high.
Yeah. When you came back to work on Monday, the 30th of March, so the lockdown happened on midnight, Friday, the 27th of March. When you all came back on the Monday, did you all have a big meeting as to what way you're going to go ahead? Because, as you say, most of your staff now are working at home. So how did you continue from that Monday where everyone was kind of confused as to what's going on in our workplace? How are we going to go forward in terms of keeping within the law?
Yeah, the first thing we did, Stavros, we nominated a COVID-19 manager.
Okay.
So what we did was we assessed the risk to our customers and staff and how we could prevent the spread of COVID-19 in our workplace. Immediately there was a training program set up for all staff to properly educate us that we knew coming back on site what we had to be aware of and what we had to be cautious about in the building. We also had to look at the building itself and identify places where 2 meter distance was very hard to achieve. So we had to combat that. We placed signage and markings throughout the building. We had to remove an awful lot of furniture from meeting points and meeting areas. We also erected protective screen for areas where there was potential face-to-face interaction. We have over 30 staff in our after-sales team. Yeah. So straight away we divided up work zone areas. So again, this was all to do with reducing the interaction we have on site. We had guidelines from the HSA and the NSAI, and I think we've adhered to them as best we can. I think overall we've done quite a good job in a short space of time to be able to provide initially a basic level of service to our customers, and then over the weeks as they developed, we've been able to increase that. So overall, I think we've done a good job given the circumstances.
Yeah, so John, just to give people a bit of a timeline, we're recording this on the Monday, the 1st of June. Now, the lockdown happened on the 27th of March at midnight. Then on the following weeks ahead, the police were stopping people on the road, essential travel. They were letting the trucks obviously keep operating, which is very important. Now, up until around 2 weeks ago, the police have not been stopping. I've not noticed any police on the roads. So maybe they're becoming a bit more relaxed about people travelling. But of course, the 2 metre distance still has to keep in place. And John, can you tell me, are you still able to do test drives in DAF Trucks Ireland if somebody calls in and wants to test drive a truck?
Yeah, absolutely. So at this stage, which is obviously the 1st of June, we're fully operational. We do by appointment, so we have customers that come in by appointment.
All right.
We have our demos running around the country. What we do is we obviously fully valet all the trucks. We disinfect them, and we obviously focus on the touch points. All the mechanics have protective equipment, so any vehicles going out of here are fully disinfected. But we are fully operational, and we're able to deal with what we need to deal with here at the moment.
And the CVRT Centre fully up and running?
Absolutely, yeah.
And yeah, so the CVRT centres were closed for a number of weeks. Now, they're only taking in people who were due their CVRT before March 28th. So that's who they're taking in at the moment, but you don't know. They might clear that backlog fairly quick and things might get back to normal. But what they're saying is if you had a CVRT due after March 28th, then you're not supposed to come back in for your CVRT until July. So there's not a lot of people happy with that, John. But, I mean, the RSA are still saying to people, look, just keep your vehicles in a roadworthy condition. Look after them. But just bring your truck to DAF Trucks and get it serviced as normal. Wouldn't that be the situation, John? And then when July comes, get it CVRT'd. But they're only taking in people if you were due before March 28th. That's what I'm led to believe. So, John, you implemented the plan for COVID-19 and you have all your staff. So how many staff are at home, did you say, John?
Well, we have broken it down. So we roughly have about 25 staff working remotely.
Whoa, okay, that's a lot now. Yeah.
So that would include, obviously, the sales team, the accounts, credit control. So it's... We again, pushing back to the communication point of it, we are lucky to have these platforms in place that we can communicate on a daily basis. And I suppose as the situation develops, we're continually reassessing our policies.
And how have sales been going on, John? It must be very quiet, for new sales. Have you noticed used truck sales going up, or what way is that now?
I think, obviously, the last 2 months, the figures have been down greatly, much like the motor industry. In saying that, I would imagine there'll actually be quite a high level of registrations in the next couple of months.
All right, okay.
I think it was mainly due to vehicles coming out of bodybuilders that they weren't able to get them out during the restricted times.
Oh, that's a good point, yes.
So I believe I would forecast an increase in the registrations over the next number of months.
All right. And how are the DAF factories getting on, John? Have they fully reopened, all of them? Leyland Trucks in the UK, the Netherlands?
Yeah. So the DAF factories in Netherlands, Belgium and the UK, they've all successfully restarted production. And even in the last couple of weeks, we've received a large number of vehicles through the system, and they'll be going on the road this week.
So regarding the future, John, what is coming down the road for DAF in terms of new products?
Well, it's been an exciting time for DAF. Last year, we upgraded and extended the construction offering that we have.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So that included the introduction of a 9-ton front axle.
Right, okay. And you have a front-wheel drive system as well?
We do indeed, yeah. And we have a new XF 8x4 FTM model, it's called. It's a tractor unit. Can be plated to 120 ton.
All right.
And also on the construction side, a CF and XF 8x4 Trident configuration.
Yeah, can I just ask you about the Trident configuration? What's the benefit of Trident configuration over an 8x4 normal layout, say? What's the benefit?
Well, I suppose the advantage is you have the double drive system and the steered trailing axle.
All right, the tag is the steer. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
that's why
that's
people are going for Tridems over 8x4s, say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
That's a good offering that we have extended on a good construction range.
And you also do the steering tag in the XF as well.
Correct, yeah.
And John, can you just tell me about the PXP? This is the front wheel drive system that DAF have introduced. It's for low speed in around construction sites, just for extra grip. It's a hydraulic system.
Yes, so DAF introduced an hydraulic front wheel drive that can be activated at a flip of a switch from the dashboard.
Okay.
The system is called, like you said, a PXP drive, and initially it's available for CF and XF's 4x2 tractor units, but that'll be extended to other models in the future.
All right.
I suppose it's ideal for trucks that sometimes require vehicles to be driven off-road or in slippier conditions.
Yes.
The truck is able to register the slips from the powered wheels, and the PXP drive is activated. And
it works at speeds up to 20 kilometers, but when it goes into fifth gear, it shuts off. It just goes into rear wheel drive. But that I'd like to have that system on my truck, John. In some situations, that would be very handy now. But and John, the hybrids and electric vehicles, how are they all? Have they all been delayed now because of this whole COVID-19?
No, it's my understanding that it's all going forward, and we've had no news of any delays in development of that segment. It's a very exciting segment for us. We have electric and obviously, as you said, hybrid models coming live very shortly. And I believe, Stavros, you would have seen the LF in the British Commercial Vehicle Museum.
Yeah. It was like a prototype that was given to the museum, and it's there for eternity, I reckon. It's just sitting in their museum. But so that just goes to show you, John, that DAF were working on electric powered trucks for many years. They started all this whole project. So it's not as if they just started it 2 or 3 years ago. I'd say it's going on for far more than 10 years, I'd say.
No, absolutely. And that was one of the things that as alternative fuels became important, it was very clear that DAF's positioning was that hybrid and electric were very much the future.
Yeah.
So starting hopefully end of this year into next year, DAF will be introducing a fully electric zero emissions LF 19-ton rigid, and that's capable of 220 kilometers fully laden.
Fully laden. That's the critical part of it there, guys. It's one thing advertising it empty, but that's fully laden. That's quite a good figure now, John, for somebody around doing city deliveries. And John, how long would it take to charge up then?
So you're looking at, on top of the LF, there'll also be a CF 4x2 fully electric tractor unit, which that actually uses the VDL advanced e-power technology.
Okay.
And that's a 30-minute fast charging or 90-minute fully charged.
Wow, 90 minutes fully charged. That's not too bad. And what would be the range of the CF? Have they announced?
On the CF, they haven't announced an actual figure yet, no. But the theory behind the charging would be that this could be done while freight is loaded and unloaded.
Yeah.
So it's ideal.
I'm just picturing in the future, John. You can tell me I'm mad if you want. But I'm just picturing a situation where you will have battery packs on pallets, okay? And then when you reach your delivery point, you'll be able to swap the battery pack depending on what customers you have. And you just push it in with a pallet truck and then attach it to your chassis, a fully charged battery. And these charged batteries can be sitting on pallets in warehouses just waiting for drivers to switch them. So maybe that is something that can work in the future, a detachable battery pack for your chassis. Who knows?
Absolutely. Yeah, well, I think everything is on the card. I mean, if you look at, so that's our electric range, obviously. But I think what's very interesting is the hybrid offering. So what we see is the long haulage operations. There'll be a CF hybrid model that'll be introduced. And this is a combination of the MX-11 450 engine and a ZF electric motor. So the electric motor will have a range of 50 kilometres, and that will be charged within 30 minutes.
50 kilometres, that's good, John. Yeah.
50 kilometres. I personally, what I feel is that obviously the restrictions will be around city limits. So that's where we're going to first see restrictions. And if you can imagine cities being geo-fenced, you could have a potential where, say, for argument's sake, Dublin and Cork have geo-fencing around them. So only electric can go into those areas.
Oh, yes.
What you'll have is tractor units using very clean diesel engines, and they'll be driving from point to point. And as they enter the city limits, the electric motor will kick in, and they'll be able to do their load or unloading. And then when they return outside of the city limits, they go back into the clean diesel.
All right, okay.
And that'll bring your zero emissions.
And John, has there been any mention of how much these trucks are going to cost?
Well, obviously there will be a considerable cost increase, especially on the electric vehicles. But I think obviously it'll be really to do with how much government support we can receive, what the rebates will be like. Obviously, it's big decisions for customers, but you know it'll be really down to the advantages they can receive. And
John, what's your most memorable sale of a new truck? What's your favourite DAF in the range? Or are you allowed to say?
No, I recently supplied a brand new XF Superspace 6x2, and that had every option possible, and it was finished in a DAF, what's called ice white, factory paint. So the customer was actually Grant Transport, a family-owned, operated company, and it was for the father himself, Colin, to be drive every day. Right. And I think the biggest thing for me is that when the vehicle was finished, Colin was delighted with how it turned out, and the family themselves, they're fanatical about trucks. And you do get a great sense of satisfaction when you see something like that. And to me, that was probably the nicest truck and the one that gave me the most pleasure.
And John, have you sold many 90th anniversary edition DAF XFs?
There hasn't been a massive amount, no, to be fair. I think the UK, there was obviously a limited amount of them. And the UK had sold quite a lot to customers who had kind of pre-ordered them. Yeah. So that gave us very little, limited amount for the Irish market. Yeah, I drove one over at Lancashire DAF and the front was on air as well. Very comfortable. Yeah. Well, the UK have such a market share over there. It's incredible. I mean, they've just celebrated 25 years consistently at number one. Well over 30% market. So it's a great achievement for DAF UK.
Yeah, I don't think people realise just the amount of trucks that Leyland Trucks in the UK are building every day. But, I mean, I can imagine that the factories are not fully up to speed with production, John. Is that correct?
Yeah, that would be a fair statement. So that they're very much in the same process as we are. Yeah. So they have, in mainland Europe, they have their 2 metre restricted distances. Again, they have sanitation points all over factories. The staff are wearing masks. But I think DAF are one of the first to be able to get some sort of production back up and running. Yeah. And like I said, this week or last week alone, we've received a large number of trucks from the factories, which will be going on the Irish roads next week.
DAF had a very nice stand at Peterborough last year, and they also had the best position. So, Phil Moon, I think, I was chatting to him, he must know somebody to get that position. But I don't think people realise as well, John, just how much money the truck manufacturers spend at these shows. It's astronomical money. So I think they may have to drop the prices slightly, John, on the shows, because it's just savage money that you're paying out to attend these shows.
Yeah, it is. It's a very expensive advertising, I suppose, and appearance. But yeah, I suppose in Ireland we do quite a lot of shows. We've done the Full of the Pipe.
Yeah.
I think, was it last year you were down at the construction quarry management show?
Yes. Oh yeah, I test drove the CF.
That's right.
Very.
Pleasure of sitting beside you.
Yeah, the very nice truck to drive actually. Very stable, even like fully laden. Like it was nice truck. And John, you were going to go to Douala this year as well, that show, but that got cancelled.
That's right. Yeah.
But hopefully, John, you'll get in some of these new trucks and be able to display them at shows next year, hopefully in 2021. And we can get a test drive of them and see what they're like on the road. I'm looking forward to testing out that hybrid, 30 kilometres. That's a nice one, John. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
And the fully electric one as well. We'll see how that goes. But John, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope people found this video interesting, and hopefully I can get to chat to more manufacturers in the future, and we'll just see how this video goes. But John, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dan Ross, and I hope you keep safe and well.
Yeah, thank you very much. There you have it, guys. John McCann, Regional Sales Manager for DAF Trucks Ireland. And there we will leave it. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll chat to you all next weekend for another video. So until then, take care, guys. Cheers! Factory tour all around the production line, watching the XF being built. We've got the CF and the LF. All these trucks are being assembled here on the production line in Leyland Trucks. And the Leyland name was named after the town of Leyland,